In the cracks of steep cliffs and weathered stone, the Masson pine stood guard over the earth with a patience that almost felt obsessive. Long before cities rose and vanished, before roads carved through mountains and lights swallowed the night sky, this ancient tree had already rooted itself deep within the bones of the land. Its survival was never built upon speed or abundance. Instead, it relied on endurance, restraint, and an unshakable connection to the mountain beneath it. Tonight, let us follow the quiet spirit of the Masson pine into a world untouched by hurry, where the wind moves slowly through ancient needles and the earth still remembers how to breathe in silence. When the modern world feels too loud, too restless, too uncertain, the Masson pine offers another rhythm. It does not demand attention. It does not bloom with extravagant colors or stretch toward the sky in desperate competition. It simply remains. Year after year, storm after storm, it stands along lonely ridges and mist-covered peaks, carrying within its rough bark the memory of countless ages. There is something deeply calming in that kind of permanence. The tree seems to whisper that survival does not always belong to the fastest or the loudest. Sometimes, survival belongs to those who learn how to stay grounded while everything around them changes. Millions of years ago, when the earth was still raw and untamed, the ancestors of the pine family began spreading across harsh and unforgiving landscapes. Volcanic soil, jagged cliffs, relentless winds, and freezing winters shaped the destiny of these trees. Among them, the spirit of the Masson pine emerged as a symbol of quiet resistance. While many plants searched for fertile valleys and gentle climates, the pine chose the difficult places. It planted itself where the soil was thin and where few other living things could endure. In those lonely heights, it learned the wisdom of patience. The roots of the Masson pine do not merely sit beneath the earth. They grip the mountain like ancient hands, threading through cracks in stone with astonishing persistence. Every root carries a message passed down through countless generations. Hold on. Bend when necessary. Never surrender to the storm. Over time, the tree became more than a plant. It became part of the mountain itself, a living extension of rock, mist, and time. Imagine standing in one of those ancient forests long before human history began. Fog drifts slowly through the valleys. The scent of resin and damp earth fills the air. Far above, the pine branches sway gently against a silver sky. Dinosaurs once walked beneath ancestors of these trees, and later, wandering animals crossed the same mountains while glaciers formed and melted in distant lands. Through all of it, the pine endured. It witnessed extinctions, earthquakes, endless winters, and the slow reshaping of continents. Yet it never rushed to escape. It remained rooted in place, accepting both hardship and beauty with equal calm. There is a philosophy hidden inside the life of the Masson pine. It teaches that strength does not need to announce itself. The tree does not resist the wind through violence. Instead, it survives by understanding balance. During violent storms, its branches bend and release the pressure of the gale. During droughts, it conserves every drop of moisture hidden within its needles. During freezing nights, it waits silently for warmth to return. Everything about its existence is measured, restrained, and deeply aware of nature's rhythm. In many ways, the Masson pine stands in direct contrast to modern life. Human beings often chase constant movement, endless achievement, and overwhelming noise. Days become crowded with information, expectations, and invisible pressure. Yet the pine reminds us that life can also unfold slowly. It reminds us that there is dignity in stillness and wisdom in patience. Watching a pine tree standing quietly on a mountain ridge can feel strangely healing because it awakens something ancient within us, something that longs for simplicity and stability. Even today, when you encounter a lone Masson pine growing along a cliffside path or rising from a misty hillside, it carries that same timeless atmosphere. Its dark green needles shimmer softly beneath rain and moonlight. Its weathered trunk tells stories without words. The tree asks for nothing from the world. It simply exists with quiet confidence, offering shade to birds, shelter to insects, and calm to anyone willing to slow down long enough to notice it. At night, when the wind moves through the pine forest, the sound resembles distant waves upon a forgotten shore. Ancient cultures often believed that pine forests carried spiritual energy because of this sound. It feels less like ordinary wind and more like the earth itself breathing in slow motion. Listening to that rhythm can soften the mind and loosen the grip of anxious thoughts. The longer you remain beside the pine, the more your heartbeat begins to match the patient movement of the forest. Perhaps that is why the Masson pine continues to inspire people after so many centuries. It represents a kind of inner steadiness that modern life rarely encourages. It teaches us that resilience does not require hardness. One can remain gentle and still survive the storm. One can stand quietly without disappearing. One can grow slowly and still reach extraordinary heights. Tonight, as darkness settles softly around the world, imagine yourself walking through a mountain forest wrapped in silver mist. Above you, the ancient pines sway beneath the stars, their roots deep within the stone, their branches open to the endless sky. The air is cool, fragrant, and still. Nothing asks anything of you here. There is no urgency. No noise. No expectation. Only the steady presence of the trees and the quiet reassurance that some things in this world still endure. Let the ancient calm of the Masson pine settle gently into your thoughts. Let its patience quiet the restless parts of your mind. And as sleep slowly approaches, may you carry within yourself the same deep-rooted strength that has allowed these trees to survive across millions of years. In a changing world, may you too discover a place inside yourself that remains peaceful, grounded, and unshaken.